I'm Andrew Berg, Editorial Director of Advantage Business Media's Manufacturing Group. We're here with Sébastien Ribault, PhD, Director of Global Provantage Biodevelopment, End-to-End Delivery at Merck Biodevelopment. Sébastien, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for the invitation.
So to start out, why don't you just tell us a little bit about what you do and a little bit about your company?
Yeah, good idea. So I'm in charge of our global delivery team called the Provantage Biodevelopment and End-to-End team. We're part of the Merck KGaA Germany organization. Our specific role is really to support our customers from the very beginning of biotech process development using mammalian cell-based processes, and we go up to phase 3 manufacturing. Is to support clients through the R&D, preclinical, clinical stages, and eventually even support them on building their facility through an engineering offering that we have internally. So as you see, we try to cover our clients' process needs from the very beginning to the very end, hence the name end-to-end of the organization. We're part of MilliporeSigma, if I use the name in the US. Merck, using the name used on the other countries in the globe. Merck is known for having several divisions. One healthcare division, formerly Merck Serono. I'm part of the life science division, in which are integrated the legacy Millipore organization, from which I'm coming from actually, and the legacy Sigma organization. Merck has other activities in area that are not directly linked with biotech, like LCD crystals. What many people don't know is that in the vast majority of the screens, including the tablet that's in front of me or the screen that's in front of you, you have LCD coming from Merck KGaA.
So in keeping with the topic of our discussion here, can you tell me a little bit about how you've improved operations efficiency over the last 5 years?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So 5 years ago, we actually almost finished an evaluation of technologies that are at that time were still kind of new, single-use technologies. Not that new, because if I look at what historically Millipore developed, the single-use products became kind of routine 10 years ago. But 5 years ago, we were at the stage of the evaluation where we had tested single-use equipment, both on the upstream cell culture and downstream purification side, in process development and in manufacturing. So we decided to implement in many areas single-use, but we kept in parallel stainless steel that we had here on site. For a number of years. The site here in France, close to Bordeaux, is 30 years old this year. So imagine 25 years of history in stainless steel before moving gradually into single-use 5 years ago. We made that decision, and we've immediately seen savings in a lot of different areas. As a manager for the site activity, but especially as a budget manager, I've seen a big difference on budgets and on capacity. So increased our capacity in terms of runs per year by up to almost 50% on some scales. And the saving on the budget side by about 25% overall, including all the area, when I'm comparing stainless steel and single-use. So really, when we're talking about streamlining, I can tell you that resonates when I think about the single-use implementation.
Great. To drill a little deeper, can you tell us a little bit about more specific the benefits of single-use technologies?
It's actually a simple question that has quite difficult answers. And I'm really saying answers because depending who you talk to, the answer is going to be quite different. Let me start maybe with the people who are operating single-use.
Okay.
I think the main benefit for them is the is the training that goes down to very little compared to stainless steel, where, let me take numbers. Training people on single-use equipment takes us today on a new equipment between 1 to 4 weeks. And I'm talking GMP operations. I'm not talking R&D or bench cut. I'm really talking GMP. When on the stainless steel suite, the training we had in place before, we were talking about 6 months. So that's a big difference. And training is certainly not the funniest part of the job, because when people arrive, you know, they want to run a process. But before you run a process, you need to be trained. So we can train people faster. And what we see as well is that we're more efficient in the training because of the way many single-use equipment are designed. We call them foolproof, and I think in a sense it's foolproof. So people are really focusing on the activities that have a lot of added value for them in running the operations, and they immediately see the benefit. So that's for the people who are running the process. If you're talking to the budget owner, which is something I mentioned before, I see savings on the budget side. If I'm looking at the job of the supervisors and the managers running these teams, what the reduction we see on the training or on the changeover time, changeover of 2 to 4 weeks is now a couple of days, couple of hours in some situations. Then you have time to focus your team on additional training, but more on the science, you know. It's one thing to run a cell culture process. It's a different thing to understand the cell culture biology. So if your people are not focusing on changing a valve or a membrane, you can actually give them more background about the science. So the managers see a real benefit in being able to have more time from their people, technicians, engineers, and bring more added value tasks to them, added value for the operators, added value for the managers. So as you see, I could give you very different answers depending on which category of the population in touch with the single use we're talking about.
Sure. So are the benefits solely limited to overall efficiencies, or are there other areas where you really see benefits?
We see other area. Efficiency is clearly the first thing that you would see when you can make in 3 months 4 runs of a single-use bioreactor. When we were doing 2 using stainless steel, obviously you see more efficiency there and more capacity, as I mentioned before. But there's in our situation, as I mentioned during the introduction, we're doing that for our clients. So we have to transfer out these processes at the end of the day. And I think that the beauty of single use is that when we design a single use facility for our customers, they are area of the process that we just duplicate from what we have here. You can train the operator who will receive the final process on the equipment we have here, and they will see the exact same equipment in front of them when they receive the process. So the tech transfer time is really reduced to the minimum, and people are already comfortable running the process because they've done it at our place before doing it at their place. And it's not, I'm not really talking about training here. I'm really talking about being comfortable receiving an entire process. And we know that tech transfer can be difficult. The aspects of this transfer, the ease of transfer, means also that some of our customers, instead of thinking about putting together a new facility, 10,000 liters stainless steel, delivering from one geography into multiple geographies, are thinking, you know what, if I put together a facility at 2,000 liters scale single use today in US, I could actually put together the same facility in Europe and another one in Middle East and another one in Brazil and so on. And we're basically talking about duplicating the same facility everywhere. And for me, that's also a benefit of single-use technologies.
Great. So as you look towards the future, what are your plans there, and how do you intend to sort of keep on this evolution?
There's 2 areas we're looking out. Well, not now, for years. I think it's a continuous evolution of our template. First, we're running processes, well, the same processes in parallel in several bioreactors. I remember the team when we started working on that back in 2012, used to call that the six-pack concept. If you run 6 2,000-liter bioreactor in parallel, you actually have 12,000 liters of production upstream, and you can have just one batch downstream, or decide that you will go for 6 batches, but you don't need to make 6 consecutive batches. You're going to make just one run with the six-pack concept. So it's really optimization of the cost of goods, optimization of your timing and budget. So we still continue to push hard on the COGS reduction, so that in the future we see the price for monoclonal antibodies, hormones, cytokines, or whatever our clients will be producing really going down to the minimum and make medicines affordable all around the world. So that's one of the objectives. The second area where we're spending quite some time as well is trying to find the best template so that in the future it's not only biotech processes, but we can really talk about continuous and ideally closed processes. And we think that continuous as closed is really an interesting future for these technologies.
Great. So in closing here, just as you head to Interfex, what do you, as far as the show, what kind of benefits do you get out of this kind of show, and what are you looking to accomplish at the show?
Benefits from the show, I think the main benefit for me is really networking, meeting people from very different horizons. I'm always amazed to see how different are the people who are visiting Interfex. So we can have discussions on technology, science, business discussion, potential collaboration and partnership. So it's really a show where I can pretty much cover all the I have on my plate for this year. Again, meeting potential partners and potential clients, but also discuss science and technology. So that's what's interesting. What am I trying to achieve coming to Interfex this year? Well, a few things. There are identified partners I would like to meet at Interfex, and it's one of our rendezvous points. And I'm also eager, as every year, to see how technologies are developing elsewhere. We are developing technologies. Many people are developing technologies, and I'm not really talking competition. I'm more talking emulation. I'm always interested by discovering new technologies.
Great. Well, Sébastien, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Pharmaceutical Processing, in conjunction with Interfex 2017, presents Interfex Live.